Right here behind us, we have Tiger Field, home to the Cowley College men's and women's soccer teams, who actually have not been around for that long. They first got their start in 2008 when athletic director Tom Saya wanted to get something new going here at Cowley College.
You know, our previous athletic director at the time, Tom Saya, he was a tremendous athletic director, and he was always looking for new sports that we could add at the college, trying to be innovative. And he thought soccer would be a great fit here at the school.
He invited me over to check the position and see what I thought about it.
I was fortunate enough to know Roberto back whenever he was at Southwestern. I was straight out of college, and my first job was working as the sports editor for the Winfield Courier. And Roberto was the head coach at Southwestern, and so I got to cover his teams for a couple years. And so obviously, whenever Tom had mentioned some people's names, he had thrown about Roberto, and I was all for that, to have him come here. Knew he could do a great job building a program from the start up.
I came as a courtesy for maybe 20, 15 minutes visit with the AD, and 6 hours later, I was back at home. And so I just spoke with my family, and she was on board, so we came over. Hindsight, I have no idea what I was getting to, because it was January 2008, and when I sat with the AD and the president, they want this to get started in the fall, 2 teams, and so I was in peace. I said, that's fine, let's do it, let's take the challenge. Everything that I requested, that I inquired about, they were on board. Yeah. And Cowley Athletics showed to me right then why they're so strong, so respected. Mm-hmm. So it was good to see that.
Because, obviously where we started to where we're at now is just incredible, the growth of the program. So it was Tom's vision, and I think we had a lot of people here in the community. We started to see the growth of soccer, the popularity amongst the young kids in the community. And so it was a great idea on his part to want to try to bring that here.
From where we came from scratch, and then you started getting all the connections that I had, and then bringing players. The rules on recruiting was a little bit different than now, as far as number of internationals, number of in-state, out-of-state, what we could give to them.
Right.
Now it's a lot different as far as scholarship. It was easier now to assemble a diversified group.
When asked what the biggest difference was from when he started in 2008 to where he's at now, he had a very simple answer.
Is there something that's like, yeah?
That's it.
What turned out to be Dos Santos' biggest help in advancing this program was on his way shortly after the start of it.
Well, I wanted a change in my playing career as well, and I really wanted to start studying. I think I was ready to take the challenge and go to college. I was a little older already, but I thought it was a great idea for me to literally dive into academics and focus on my career, or the career that I want to pursue. Roberto said that he had a spot for me on the roster. I said yes. I didn't even know anything about Cowley or anything about Arc City, but I was just interested. I went to the website, I saw everything, I saw the majors and everything, and then we were ready to go. And there's nothing specific about Cowley. I think coming from an international student, the idea of coming to the US and getting academics while playing soccer is very appealing. Mm-hmm. But obviously, I saw on the website, everything looks so nice, everything looks so good.
Who he came in, you could see from the first practice that he's the baller.
Hui himself, though, having a chance to cover him whenever he played his first 2 years here at soccer, incredible soccer player. The best that we've had come through the program. We've had some others who he's humble in that he'll say, my records have been broken, but boy, he's the one who started this, the first 2-time All-American here, and just was unbelievable.
Hui Vaz scored 30 goals in 30 games to go along with 9 assists in his 2-year career here at Cowley College. He also became the program's first 2-time All-American. So you would think that being a leader would be an easy thing for him to do.
I wasn't a great leader by any means, with my disposition of character. Roberto knows that. I didn't even want to be a captain, but I think it was a great call for me to start learning how to deal with people anymore, how to mature as a person. I transferred to Oklahoma City University after 2 years here at Cowley, and it was a very smooth transition.
Not long after that, Cowley College was hit with some devastating and unexpected news.
After its president resigns and a soccer program is cut, the community is seeking answers.
It was shocking. That's all I can say. It was numb. I was numb, and I think the entire community was as well. I just gathered my family and I told them, and then the next day I went out to find out what was going on, and there was a lot of things that wasn't done right. Lawfully, the way it was done. So
it was a very weird scenario how that all came about. We had a president that was only here for less than a year. I think it was maybe around 9 months, and he wanted to implement some changes. And some of those, one of those changes was he thought he wanted to try to help some budget constraints he thought we were facing, and maybe one of the ways to help that was to eliminate a program. And he thought soccer was one of those programs that he could, do away with and maybe help the school financially in that aspect. But once the backlash, as soon as that started to come out, people started to hear that he was thinking about doing this, you could feel the groundswell of support of wanting to try to stop that. Unfortunately, it was not stopped at the time, so the program did go away for a short while.
The funny thing is, the same day that he got the call, I already knew. Like the news traveled so fast that my coach at Oklahoma City University, he asked me, "Hey, what's going on? Why they cut the program?" And then I thought, "What? They cut Cowley's program?" And then I called Roberto, and then he was very confused on the phone because I said, "Man, I don't know. We just received a phone call and they said they're gonna cut both programs, and we don't have a job right now." So everything happened so fast that we were all confused. It was just like I stabbed, because being part of the program, was weird.
The usual excuse, it was a budget cut, but the thing that was disregard in the process was that we all under KOMA, KOMA, Kansas Open Meeting Act. According to KOMA, any time a program in a college or depends on other departments as well, they're cut. This is a decision that needs to be made and openly to the community.
Once the community rallied in support of that, and the people here at the college that were not in favor of that, it led to them reinstating the soccer program.
We had a huge, an unexpected response from the community around here and far away.
Yeah.
That everybody gathered, and it was a huge. I don't think the board of trustees ever had a community gather in a regular meeting as they had.
Right.
Websites they were created on the internet with open forums and people discussing, and Facebook pages, and they were all talking about it. It went on the news because the other problem is they cut right after spring break. So honestly, students, they wouldn't have optimal time to go to another school. The coaches wouldn't have optimal time to find another job. It was something very cruel and very brutal. And I think people here didn't really accept that, especially the soccer community here. And because my wife, she was here in Arc City, she was going to WSU, and she was leaving Arc City, and then she went to one of those meetings that they were held in the cafeteria, like 200, 300 people meeting there to discuss that, and it got very heated.
For me, as a coach, right, and for us as soccer people, it was amazing to see Cowley, an Arc City community gathering over our sport. It was huge. That was something that for me, it rooted myself even further here.
Not too long after the program was reinstated, Huey Vaz was ready to come back, this time as a coach.
I never felt like I left because I met my wife here in Arc City at Cowley. We were both mass comm, Cowley felt like home. I would come back here. I came back for preseason in 2013 to see the team that Roberto had assembled. Coming back was something natural, and I've always loved how Cowley treated me and how Arc City treated me. But yeah, I stayed here, and then that's how my coaching career started.
So when we had an opportunity to bring him back, we knew not only how good of a player he was, but his love for Cowley. We knew that would be infectious and rub off on the guys here at the school.
It was just getting to the point that it wasn't sustainable anymore to just have 2 coaches for 2 programs. You needed at least 1 assistant. It kind of worked out pretty well. And as soon as it opened, I applied. It was pretty obvious that it would be the natural transition for me to become a volunteer to full-time assistant.
When we started out the program in 2008, I was in charge of both. And then I brought in I agreed with the school. The first year, 2 years, I would have an understudy, somebody to come in. Coach Dane came, and after 2 years, and then he took over. And I became the men's, and he was the women's coach for all these years. We got to a point, and Coach Dane moved on, and then Hui was the assistant, was doing a good job. So automatically, we want to promote him as a head coach. It was a good time for me as well. The girls needed a change, on the program. Hui was already very well acquainted with the demands and things. So I decided to go for the women, and then he was with the man. And as you see it, we start working together. That was when Coach Tanner came in right then in that process, which honestly, it was the perfect good pieces falling together in a puzzle.
The last piece of that puzzle, Coach Tanner Brock.
Yeah, from Winfield, and then I started out at Cowley as the intramurals coordinator and then dorm manager, and then this position kind of just fell into my lap. I was playing soccer at Fort Hayes from 2011 to 15, so I have that soccer background.
We played the same years. That's actually it's a coincidence.
Oh, yeah. And then I was missing the game a whole lot, and I didn't know that I really wanted to be a coach, but the position opened up, and I took my chance. Yeah, I think it was the best decision I've made. As far as my career goes, because I didn't know that I wanted to be a coach, and now that I am, I absolutely love it, and it's great to learn from these two. They've been here at Cowley for so long, so learning from them has just been the best for me.
It's been an unbelievable dynamic. I'm glad you mentioned Tanner in there too, because he's kind of the unsung one, because we have our head coach Hui Vaz for the men's soccer team, Roberto leading the women's team, and Tanner is right there with both those guys. He might be labeled as an assistant coach, but they'll be right there to tell you that he's just as valuable as both Roberto and Hui to the success of the programs. I think one of the biggest things that helped with the programs was Roberto realizing there was a possibility we could lose someone like Hui, and swallowing his pride, or saying, hey, how about maybe I go from men's coach to women's coach, and Hui will vault you over to the men's coach so we can keep your knowledge here at Cowley.
So when we started, the weird thing is when we started working together, it never felt like we were going through some growing pains. It felt like we've been working for a long time together. And then Tanner and I were rookies, because it was my first year as a head coach, was his first year as a coach. It was just like, hey, maybe I can be a coach. And I think, oh, maybe I can be a head coach. And but it felt so naturally, everything, like preparing the preseason, preparing the season, sitting, we were holding weekly meetings just to sit down and talk about the next steps together. And that's something that never been done before here previously. So it just felt something very natural. I think the players also felt that kind of relief as well, that finally had 2 programs that were kind of in harmony. So I don't know. I think it just felt good. And then when you feel good working together, I think things are going to happen. And we have a winning mentality.
Yeah, just to add to the culture, we have players that still want to come back. and see the facilities and see us and see the team. So just knowing that players that leave to go to their 4-year schools, when they come back over spring break or Christmas break, whatever, it just shows that that culture that we've built is working.
It's a lifetime dream, to see those guys talking like this, and now our families all together, and we do things that sometimes we're together, we don't even want to talk about the game. We want to talk about life.
Right.
And but that's the beauty of it. So, but as far as the coaching, we are sore losers. we came from playing, and we're competitive, and we lost a lot. I mean, we lost a lot in life, but we still want to compete. But there's one thing that these guys are helping me too, is that we're gonna lose, but we're not gonna lose what we believe. Okay, right. There's the belief in a person, in a heart, the life after here, and outside the institution, and so on. And we were able to combine those things, putting together the camaraderie, let the kids know that they're important, but there's responsibility and accountability.
I think one good thing that we have to talk also is the way we are advancing the program in terms of where the players are transferring, and it's not only about going to a certain level, Division 2, Division 1, Division 3. It's just we are creating a big network with schools literally across the United States. You have players on the men's and women's side committing, and not only committing but doing well in other schools.
To be honest, Coach Tanner is not here. Huy and I, we go, hey man, what's going on here? What are we going to do? I'm not here. I hope they say the same. Who is not here, we go the same. But we kind of hold each other
right
when he needed. So it makes it easier to sell that to the players, because we don't need to say much. They see it. And the players, they come and they fight for it, and they spread the word. And the recruiting, and come with the results that we have. Because the kids look at the results, how we're doing, how successful. Are we going to be successful next year? I don't know. But we believe in what we're doing.
I mean, I played here, and we were second, and we were competitive, but the women's team wasn't doing well, struggling and everything. And I'm a head coach of the men's team, but I have equal pleasure in seeing the girls doing fine.
And I think, even though it's two teams, men's and women's, it's looked at as one program.
Right.
It's just the Cowley soccer program, not the men's program or the women's program.
A great team. All three of them work together to help. You'll see during the women's game, Huey's over there talking with Roberto and Tanner too, helping. You'll see during the men's game, Roberto's giving them insight as well. So it's a real team effort.
The funny thing is, there was a hierarchy, in the Jayhawk, that people thought was something forever. You have those 2-3 programs that were up there, and then even the way they kind of behaved in terms of looking at the other programs. Now there's a new sheriff in town. It just showed that we are doing something here, and it's not something 1 year we're going to define it's a good recruiting cycle. No, we don't rest easy. We don't sit down and think, we already won. No, we're not comfortable.
Right.
We just want to keep looking forward to the next steps. We're forward thinkers here, and then we just want to make sure that we never get comfortable.
I think as long as we can, fingers crossed, try to keep these guys here as long as we can, the sky's the limit. They love Cowley. They bleed orange and black, and that flows right into their players. And you can see that those players just feel the same way about the school. And when you're having that pride and wearing that jersey, you take the field, you almost already got the advantage over the opponent. So, in my opinion, as long as those guys are here, Cowley's the team to beat.
Hey, boys have won 4 in a row. The girls have won 3 in a row, which means we're going to have to work even harder. We're going to have to pick up even further.
The Tigers have a young but rich history in the 14 years that they've been around, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for them.